It's Daybreak on the Rise News. It's time for the press preview. First look at what's on the front pages as they arrive. And we start off with this day. And Buhari defers subsidy removal to incoming government. Seeks 18 months suspension to send the Petroleum Industry Act amendment to the National Assembly. And at the top, using super to counter fighter jets, Nigerian Air Force kills notorious ISWAP commander Ali and others. A president directs security agencies to use 5G tech to tackle insecurity. At last, Senate House pass amended electoral bill.
And here's the front page of the Punch. Subsidy. NNPC may deduct over 1 trillion naira from FAC in 6 months. Federal government plans Petroleum Industry Act amendment extends subsidy removal by 18 months. NLC suspend protests as talks with federal government continues. States face hard times over salary payment. Others, economists warn. Above the nameplates, other headlines there. Nigeria sinks deeper in corruption rating. Drops to 154. ICPC disagrees. National Assembly agrees on consensus. Others list conditions.
A quick look now at the Nation newspaper. Subsidy extension stalls Petroleum Industry Act. Massive endorsement for Yetola's second term bid on page 5. Dangote remains Africa's richest. Wike accuses Amechi of dumping rivers playing in Germany. And electoral bill lawmakers okay consensus with tough conditions.
The Tribune is leading with the subsidy talks as well. Says to sustain subsidy, federal government proposes 18 months delay for Petroleum Industry Act.
Now the international papers. The Times. Johnson faces police interview over parties, and Britain readies troops and warns Putin of tough sanctions.
While the Telegraph says Boris Johnson is under pressure to release full version of Sue Gray's reports into parties at Downing Street during lockdown.
The Independent now police investigate Downing Street parties. Criminal inquiry as Prime Minister prepares to publish Sue Gray report.
The Financial Times describes the Prime Minister as gearing up for fight for survival.
And The Guardian, Prime Minister's peril report looms as police step in over parties.
Let's bring in Emmanuel Bello for the reviews this morning. Emmanuel, great to see you. It's midweek and the papers are busy with subsidy and the Electoral Act Amendment Bill. Well, this is leading with subsidy. It says Buhari defers subsidy removal to incoming government. What are your thoughts? I think it summarizes everything every other paper has said this morning, deferring it 18 months when we know we have elections less than that. So this is something, a cross for the next government to carry, isn't it?
Well, yes, in the way, good morning, in the way this day has coined the headline, which is putting everything in perspective, that's taking the story a little bit further, beyond what every other person is reporting. And that's distinctive of this day in his style of putting stories, not because everybody, as at yesterday, this story already broke. So you have to find a better way of enriching that story. And one of the best enrichment is to say that, look, what have just happened is a deferment. That the Buhari administration has moved it to the next administration, like you say, passing the cross. So it's that's a good perspective to the story. 18 months, his government will have been over. And Buhari doesn't want maybe to go down in history as the one who has done this. So he's moving, passing the buck. Some will say, why didn't he have the goodwill or the will to do what most economists think should be done? But of course, you had what the Minister of Petroleum said yesterday, that no, this president wasn't acting just because of political dictates. It's not just about politics, that he's a president that he's approaching things with a human face. Some people have said that look, considering what happened at COVID and last year was nothing to write home about. To talk about increasing anything like petroleum prices, it's really close to being inhuman. And who knows, maybe this president listen to that. But the hard-nosed economists, like we keep saying, we say that, look, this is just postponing the evil day. Someday, these monies need to go. Already, we see that there's going to be a showdown between state governments and the federal government over those remittances and withdrawals. Deductions. So it's a almost a no-win situation, because either way you are face to face with the crisis of growth, the crisis of the economy. But here is the president saying, look, not on my watch. Maybe the next, maybe my successor should do this.
While the president whilst he's making that decision in the National Assembly, there's been harmony. The lawmakers have okayed consensus with tough conditions, and now it's going to the desk of the president. Should we expect him to assent to the bill this time?
Yeah, I guess I think this is the bill that he wants. This is the kind of bill he wanted. He said so in his interviews that, look, if you just need to tinker with one of those two things, especially the issue of imposing direct primaries on all the parties. He rejected that. And now, consensus. The consensus clause 2 has been added to this. There are people who have all sorts of issues around the issue of consensus, because some will tell you that it's undemocratic, the idea that someone could just be presented and everybody is asked to step down. Now, of course, you heard what some of the players, they were saying that consensus won't be just like that. It won't be as if some godfather will sit somewhere, present a candidate. But we know how it happens, especially at the state level. Where people will be practically hounded out of the race, and one person, asks giving the ticket. So, I don't see a problem with the president assenting to this, because there was that little window that he opened in those interviews, televised interviews, where he said, look, he's sending it back so that there will be some of these corrections or changes will be made, and that he's going to sign it. Not quite what everyone is expecting, but it's not as revolutionary as what was first sent to him. But it's better we have this than nothing, like some people will say.
Well, it took the president 30 days the last time to make any decision. Hopefully it's shorter this time around. We keep an eye on that story, Emmanuel. But let's turn to another story making the rounds this morning on the front pages. It's that of the Transparency International ranking of Nigeria's fight against corruption. The country dipped for that, ranking 154 this time around. Any surprises there? And how damaging could this be? The response in the past has been, we do not accept, by the government, is that they do not accept these rankings. The ICPC, I think in the Punch this morning, has responded to say, we do not agree as well with these rankings. For an administration that hopes to fight corruption as an election promise to Nigerians, how damaging is this, and did it come as a surprise?
Well, it's damaging because you see this has given red meat to the opposition to jump on it and say, look, you failed at even what you ran on. The PDP is bound to pass on this, and other opposition party to say, well, that's what we keep telling Nigerians, that we are sold. We are sold a fake, almost a fake item at the start of this regime. You know that this president ran on 3 planks: security, the economy, and of course anti-corruption. And almost all 3 phases, the opposition will always tell you, and many Nigerians were almost agreed that, look, there has not been any tremendous radical, movement. The needle hasn't really shifted in all of this. Of course, like you said, this one, government will always reject this. Government will always say these ratings are not, reflecting reality. They will beat their chest and say, this is what we've done. This is what we've not done. You saw a report in this day suggesting that those Tucano jets are really taking out the bandits and all that. Those are the kind of records, this government or this presidency like to push for. So I see them also, replying Transparency International, saying, look, we're doing our best. We're fighting corruption to the best of our knowledge. We have intensified. He has a younger person now at the EFCC as the boss. An appointment, a lot of people say, came with a lot of energy, and the kind of leadership needed, or the kind of energy needed in that direction. They will talk about people that were arrested, high top people that were arrested, and how they've busted a lot of crimes. So those are the sort of things that the government will come with and say, well, look, we've done our best, and that the problem is as endemic as it is. That if you see this kind of reports, just tell you that we have a serious problem, but opposition and many Nigerians will not take that. Say, look, you campaign on the fact that you are going to fight corruption, but we're still seeing our ratings around the world dipping. They will point to that and say it's a failure of governance and of leadership, and actually an abdication of promises made at the early part of the government.
Now, let's look at the Nigerian Tribune, Emmanuel. While the CBN has retained the benchmark interest rate at 11.5%, Africa's richest man, Dangote, for the 11th year, has been named the richest person on the continent, and his value's gone up a bit. But the focus is on the CBN governor, who's said that there's been no capital flight from Nigeria in recent times. But is it true? Because some papers have reported recently that hundreds of doctors have left the country between 2020 and today.
Kenneth, those are some of the contradictions that we deal with every day. On one hand, you have these beautiful figures, being bandied by the institutions to make you look as if everything, the forecast is so bright. But in the real times, you see situations like you just mentioned with doctors fleeing the country, and those are real facts too. So you see it just juxtapositioning of these realities side by side, one on paper and the other in real life, things that are happening. Of course, you have the richest man in Africa from here, in a country where a lot of people are wallowing in poverty. You see that in Forbes, and you think that, well, okay, well, we're doing well for ourselves. One of us is the richest man in Africa. But you look across the street and you see, destitution and poverty all over the place. So those are some of the stark realities and stark contradictions, some of the claims and some of the reality present to us. The beautiful thing there is that at least you begin to ask yourself if anybody is doing anything about it at all. But in reporting these matters, you see we're torn between the crisis of what we have on paper, what we have bandied out by government institution, and the stark reality out there.
Very quickly to the international papers. The Times, the Guardian, the Telegraph, the I newspaper, they are reporting on Boris Johnson this morning, and the Met Police now saying they are investigating the alleged several parties during lockdown at number 10 Downing Street. Could this be it for Boris Johnson?
Honestly, it's tough because this thing keeps dripping, like it's a drip thing, and every other day new revelations about these parties and all that, almost reminiscent of the emails of Hillary Clinton when she was running. Those things kept coming until it did that. How these parties are going to signal the end of Boris Johnson prime ministership, it's difficult to say. But then the police is wading in. That's just the other new thing. And then of course the Sue Gray report will be out sometime today or tomorrow, and that will be something to say. A lot of MPs waiting for those investigations by Sue Gray to make up their mind. When that happens, unfortunately, again, as part of the report, it's up to Boris Johnson to actually release some of those investigation details. And already there are calls that he should release everything, even though he has all the rights to release what he wants to release. And then, of course, with his weighing on the Ukrainian crisis and all that, seems as if, well, somehow this prime minister, once again, is trying to survive, like our friend Dan calls him, the cat with the 9 lives. But these things are getting interesting, and every other new day, every new day, there's a new revelations about some of those parties that happened during the lockdowns.
Well, we'll wait to see if someone's going to die for Boris Johnson on the cross. Thank you so much, Emmanuel Bello. That's been the press preview this morning.